Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Today we're going to pick up another one of our stories. This is the story about Billie. These are true life stories. On the side, our ministry teaches beginners a little bit about money, a little bit about savings, enough to at least make them functional. And Billie was our first story. We have since found out a whole lot about Billie, and today we're going to bring you up to speed. Now, since we started a couple of months ago, first off, we've learned a little bit more about where he stands financially. And I want to start with what we learned. If you remember right, Billie was going everywhere when we first met him. He was going to buy a house, then he wasn't. Then he was going to buy his parents' house, and then he wasn't. And then he was going to move in with his friend, and then he wasn't. I mean, everything was up in the wind. Nothing was set. No plan was there. No money was saved. No credit was had. It was a mess. Well, we're about 2 months into it. And here's the financial numbers as they stand. And right now he's got about $500 in his checking account. He's got a little over $2,000 in his house account. And he's got about $500 in his emergency account. Not bad. Now, when we first met Billie, his brother had bamboozled him into buying a piece of junk truck. And Billie had $1,900 in debt on a credit card that he was making payments whenever he felt like it. So if you remember correctly, we took the $1,900 and paid it off with a personal loan from his bank and combined that with the loan to pay for the truck, which roughly was $2,000, so we had roughly $4,000 sitting on that. Billie's plan was his dad was going to fix the truck, and then he would sell the truck for $4,000 and pay the thing off. I was against it, but our main goal at the time was the credit, his credit rating, and it solved that problem, so I agreed to the other. Well, here we are. Truck is still not repaired, and Billie's real problem is unearthed. When Billie got his new credit card, he said, "Should I take the balance on my old credit card and put it on a new credit card with no interest?" And I said, "Why would you do that?" And he said, "Because I'm right back to where I was, about $1,900 on my credit card." And I said, "I thought I told you 100 times you'd never carry a balance." And he said, "Yeah, I know, but it got away from me." I said, "So let me get this right. You've known all along that you're an overspender, and you didn't tell me." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I just don't have the self-discipline to not spend the money. If I look down on my card and my bank says I've got $500, I go spend $500. I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, do not use your city double cash when it comes in. Put it in a sock drawer, and let's deal with your other credit card." So now we've got $1,900 in a personal loan to pay off the first $1,900, and now we got another $1,900 sitting on the same credit card. All right. So I've never had the problem of trying to work with an overspender, but now I've got two of them, and this is the first one. So here's the options that I ran through. Do I take his credit cards away and make him deal in cash? Do I make him deal, take everything and put it in the bank and make him live on an allowance? So when the money's gone, the money's gone. I see problems with both of those. Do I pay off the new $1,900 balance on his credit card with what he's managed to save? Remember, he spent $1,900, but he's got $2,000 in savings. So we could do that. Of course, then he's spent the last 3 months spending his wheels. Or should we carry the balance and then try to make headway on paying the darn thing off? And which one do we do first? Do we pay off the city double cash and let the other one sit? Do we pay off both? What do we do? Or do we try to pay off the original $1,900 plus the truck loan, which that loan runs $125 a month? The answer is I don't have a clue, because it depends on what motivates him. So I asked him. I said, what do you think it's going to take to cure your overspending, because we can't make progress until we solve this problem? And he him-hawed around, and he finally said, well, if I pay it off every day and I see the money moving out of my checking account, that'll remind me. And I said, okay, and how are you going to do that? Because if you can't remember to make your payments during the month, how are you going to remember to make the payments every night? And he said, well, I could put a timer on my watch. He's got an iWatch. And then every night at a certain time, it'll beep. I'll go see my balance. I'll pay everything off for the day. I said, well, that's as good as I got. So he's tried it for a couple of days since I found out, and according to him, he's at least paying his double cash credit card off. The other card, I don't know what we're going to do yet. I think we're probably just going to carry it for now, make the minimum payments, and then at some point, we're going to have to address that card. I suspect we'll get another credit card, put it on there for 19 months, because the payments he's making on his personal loan is $125. If we put the $1,900 on a 20 or 21 month no interest card, that he could pay $125 on that and have it paid in a year and a half. I'm not anxious to do anything until we make sure that we get this problem solved. Because if I solve this problem and the other problem, both of them over time, then he gets us back into the mess again. Now we've got 3 times the mess we started. I don't want to do that. So, I think what we're going to do is every night before he goes to bed, he's going to pay off what he spent on his city double cash card. Keep that as zero balance. Once a month, he's going to have the minimum paid on the new $1,900. And he's going to continue to pay the $125 on the first $1,900 plus the truck. That's the plan. I hope this works, because after this it gets really, really complicated. So, Billie's an overspender. Well, everybody has their issues. Everybody gets to, it takes a while for me as an outsider to get down to the nitty gritty and why the person's in the shape they're in. We got to Billie before he got critical, but it was a lot closer to critical than I thought it was, because he didn't level with me. So instead of dealing with one problem, we dealt with the other. Now, we did get his credit up. And he made a good choice in credit cards. He is doing his savings. He's doing very well. He saved, it looks like, around $3,000 in 2 months. And there's absolutely no reason at all why he should be running balance on these credit cards. He's got plenty of cash to pay him off. And he and I have had this conversation. He saved that $3,000 without even breathing hard. He could easily double that, I think. That would be painful. But he could easily double that. But I'm glad we didn't jump in too hard, too heavy, too quick, because at least at this speed, he'll be able to keep up his savings and do the 2 solutions we talked about the two different $1,900 bills. So let's hope it works. If you're rooting for Billie, he's going to need your help and prayers, because he's got an overspending problem. The good news is he's only 22 years old. So if we can teach him some good habits right now, he's got a chance. Well, that's about the monthly upbeat on Billie. If you'd like to watch any of the rest of our stories, we currently have 3 stories going. We got the Billie story. We got the Ken and Barbie story. That's our newest story. And then we got the story of Betty. I had a meeting with Betty this morning, and I'll be putting some information together. Nothing really earth-shattering. We may wait a month on Betty and see what happens. And we have the opportunity for one more story to join the group. I think after that I'm going to close it off, because I don't have enough to buy breakfast and I don't have the time to do anymore. So anyway, those are the stories we've got going. If you'd like to join those stories, I'll always put something to remind you that this video is that story, so you can follow your own story along. You guys have a great day, a great week, and happy investing.